think I came to Atlanta and not gon' rap, nigga. I'm in the kitchen with Yayo, he make it slap, nigga. You niggas ain't got no motion and that's a fact, nigga. I drop a few more, I'm blowing, I'm like Iraq, nigga. Picked up the sack, retired quarterback, nigga. She off the track, can't work her if she flat, nigga. I need her with an apple bottom like a Mac, nigga. 020 moving, I ain't talking about a pack, nigga.
What up, Gringo Gang? It's your boy Emerald Amigo back at you with yet another video. Hey man, so I don't really like to hop on the popular most viral topics that everybody's talking about and everything like that. I'm not really a follower, I'm a leader, so I try not to just hop on the bandwagon for likes and views just to talk about something that the whole world is talking about. But I've uncovered a couple of videos that have really had me worried, perturbed, that have really bothered me. And today we gotta talk about Diddy, and some of the things I'm about to show y'all is very interesting, and I want to get y'all opinions on it and see if it just all sounds like hype or if y'all think that it's some validity to these claims. But first, let's start with the Breakfast Club and see what they got to say about Diddy. Here we go.
About the betting, the Diddy bets. So BetUS does have some bets on here. So
I told y'all.
Yeah, they asked a couple questions. So they asked the people, how long will Sean Diddy Combs' trial last? And most people think that it will go over 8 weeks. Will Sean Diddy Combs?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Will Sean Diddy Combs be found guilty of sex trafficking? Most people say yes. Will Sean Diddy Combs be found guilty of all charges? Yes, it is plus 500, right? So that means that it's more likely, correct?
It means they would have to bet $100 to win 500.
Oh, you got to bet 100.
Don't know what that means. And then they asked the question we were talking about: how many years will Diddy serve for the charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution all together? He won't serve any years. It's plus 2,000. That means that it's very unlikely. Yeah. From 1 to 5 years, plus 2,500. People really think that Diddy is going to be looking at 11 to 15 years.
Man, one of the greatest songs ever written was T.I. and Usher, My Life, Your Entertainment. But that's really the era that we in. That's crazy.
My Life, Your Entertainment. Check this out.
Bet on somebody's life like that. Whatever. That's wow. My God.
Yep, that is according to BetUS.com.
BetUS.com. So we all heard of the sports betting. We've all, heard of Vegas and all of the boxing bettings or whatever. These people are now putting out bets and starting gambling rings for a person's trial. Whether it's a celebrity, a mogul or not, these people are betting on this man's life. Like, do y'all see how crazy society and human nature has become? To where, since we're not dealing with this situation, we not in hot water, and we watching somebody else in hot water, who a lot of people are probably envious of, probably wish they were in his position when he was winning. Now that he is down bad, people are putting money on the fate of Diddy right now. That is insane. I've never heard nothing like that. I've heard of sports betting, horse betting, shooting dice, betting on little petty stuff like, can you get this girl or not, or can you run this fast, or who gonna be president. Like, I've heard a lot of bets on a lot of different things, but betting on somebody's freedom or if they're gonna be locked up for the rest of their life, that just tells me that it ain't no love left in society. Ain't no love left in humanity. Like, that's one of the craziest things I ever heard. I didn't even expect to hear this on this video, like, out of pocket. But y'all let me know in the comments, do y'all think that it's crazy, it's inhumane that people are placing bets on what's gonna happen to Diddy, or do y'all think that he deserves it, or are y'all like me and y'all think that no matter what the evidence or what's going on in the case, from now on people not even gonna be looking at your side versus the prosecutor's side? They just gonna be using your downfall to have fun, to place bets, and like, what y'all think about that whole aspect? But beyond that, let's get into some more raw stuff about what may have caused Diddy to be in this situation.
And I'm going to show you how to get him. All right, so let's get right into it. Check this out. This guy Diddy, when you look at his net worth, 2022, he's a billionaire. Oh, we hear it, we see it all over the place. Today, net worth roughly $300 million, $400 million. His net worth, if you look at it, was a lot of spirit.
Diddy went from billionaire status to $300 million. That's like a $700 million drop. All because you got arrested and accused of something. You ain't even found guilty yet. You went from $1 billion to 300 million. To y'all, 300 million is crazy rich. Like, that ain't no problem. But to go from $1 billion to 300 million, that's like going from $100,000 to $300,000. Like, that's crazy, man.
70% was spirit, $700 million. $50 million was private investments. Then you see $75 million cash, $100 million real estate and collectibles, $75 million catalog and intellectual property. Go to it right now.
All right, so most of his money was in alcohol. Most of his net worth came from his dealings in his alcohol brand. I heard a lot of artists, a lot of musicians say that music don't really make no money. You just have to capitalize on the brand that you create and use that to make more money. And what this dude right here is breaking down right now is kind of backing that claim up, because he was saying that if we run it back a little bit,
his net worth, if you 70% was spirit, $700 million. $50 million was private investments. Then you see $75 million cash, $100 million real estate and collectibles, $75 million catalog and intellectual.
So his spirits was making him, his alcohol dealings was making him 700 million. The music made him 75 million. The music made him 10% of what the spirits made him. So that's proven that music don't really make you a lot of money. You have to use the music to branch out to other businesses. So that's crazy. And to see him go from billionaire status down to 300 million now, it's wild. But let's see why.
Property, go to it right now. Only $150 million is spirits. He lost $550 million there. Cash is lower and a bunch of other things are lower there. So what happened?
He lost 550 million. That's a lot of money to lose. $500 million. He lost $500 million. Let's see why.
During that time, when you think about his net worth, by the way, when you compare him to some other people net worth wise, with Jay-Z, Dre, Diddy, and Kanye, this is what it looks like. Blue is Dre, orange is Jay-Z, green is Diddy, and purple is Kanye. Look what happened here. So Jay-Z keeps climbing, In 2011, he was roughly 450. Today he's $2.5 billion. Dre goes from where he was at $150 million at the time. He's worth roughly $980 million today. Diddy goes from 450, same place, $2 billion down to $300 million. And then Kanye goes from wherever he was. You look at the report today, you'll either see $300 million or $2.77 billion, depending on who's doing.
Nobody knows what Kanye makes. We saw that. Like, Forbes said Kanye was worth like, what? 200, 300 million. Kanye was like, I'm worth 2.2 billion. Nobody knows what Kanye makes, but Kanye apparently is good. Let's keep going.
The audits, Forbes says $300 million. Okay, Diageo to revive Ciroc Vodka, taking a 50-50 profit sharing role rather than the standard endorsement. As brand manager and CMO, he elevated the brand from 40,000 to over 2 million cases a year, making it a premium product. Now, keep in mind, if you don't know who Diageo is, Diageo owns everybody. Johnny Walker, Crown Royale, Smirnoff, Kettle One, Don Julio, Casamigos, Captain Morgan, Bailey Irish Cream, Guinness. They own all these companies. So 2023.
So that's crazy because as hard as Diddy was going for Ciroc, I thought Diddy owned Ciroc. I didn't know what was going on back in the day. But apparently this company, Diageo, Diddy was a partner with him and he just became the face of Ciroc. And he took it from 40,000 to a couple million cases a year. That's crazy. You gotta have a good face card. You gotta have influence in the game to take a product from 40,000 cases a year to millions of cases a year. And we all saw it happening in real time. Everybody wanted to drink Ciroc in the club. Everybody brought a Ciroc bottle to the parties. Everybody was sipping Ciroc because Diddy was saying, it's our liquor, it's black liquor. We need to buy and indulge in our own product as black people. He took that approach to sell it, and it went from 40,000 to a couple mil. So that show you the buying power of black people and the influence of Diddy. That's crazy. But let's keep it going.
Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner. Then in January.
So, them saying in the lawsuit, Diddy said that they marketed Ciroc as an urban product, kind of like cutting out the growth or limiting the growth of the product, because if you market it as an urban product, that shuts out how many other people of other races can buy the product. But at the same time, like, he was using the urban standpoint to say that we finally got a liquor or we finally got a product that we own, and he was using it to sell it. But then he ended up suing the company, Diageo, for only marketing Ciroc as an urban product. So that's a little wild. But at the same time, like, he had a good thing going. He had a good business relationship. And he was saying that they weren't treating him like a real business partner or whatever. And we kind of got to expect that. They'll look at you, you know, you're very successful and everything, but they don't look at you as intellectual as themselves because you're an entertainer. And they're using your face card as an entertainer to engage all of the kind of dumb people who just want to be entertained. But when it comes down to the money and the business and the decision making, they feel like you shouldn't be involved because you're nothing but an entertainer. So I get that, but it's interesting. Let's keep it going.
January 2024, they settled out of court. Diageo and Diego settled the dispute out of court. While details still remain sealed, the settlement marked the end of their business relationship. So this.
All right, so Diddy filed a lawsuit and said that they were treating him wrong, and they were promoting the product wrong and they weren't respecting him right, and they settled out of court, you know what I'm saying, to keep their brands and everything going well, and everything was cool. After they settled, they said, don't say nothing, we ain't gonna say nothing.
Thing to do with you. We're out. Here's some money. You stay quiet. We'll pay you, but we want to get out of here. Don't.
All right, so they gave Diddy a check. They said, all right, our bad. We did you wrong. Our bad. Here's a check. We ain't no longer working together. Let's keep it going.
The thing at the time is kind of crazy is January 2024, they settle. 2 months later, remember what we're sitting there doing and minding our own business? And you hear, March of 2024, the feds are raiding Diddy's Miami home and his LA home. For what? What did...
That's crazy because I follow this guy named Anton Daniels, and he covered the Diddy lawsuit situation. He talked about, because it was a conference called InvestFest, and Diddy was a guest speaker, and he was speaking at InvestFest, and that was around the time when he sued Diageo, and you know, he was trying to make a power move on behalf of black people and ownership and all the work we put in and our influence and things like that. And like my guy just said, that happened in January, and 2 months later, Diddy's houses are getting raided. So they settled, they paid him out of court and everything like that. And now all of a sudden, Diddy is getting raided and locked up and put in jail and on trial. And the little money that they settled out of court and paid Diddy for his over a decade of work promoting their brand, as we talked about earlier, Diddy went from billions to 300 million. So he lost more than half his fortune. So the little money that they gave him to settle and make the whole issue go away, it don't even matter no more because Diddy lost all that money. That right there, that's crazy.
Pulling out all these boxes. What's going on over here? Federal agents raided his Miami and LA home, seizing 90 terabytes of digital data. What are you taking? Bunch of letters he wrote? What do you think they're getting there, right? Multiple unregistered firearms, over 1,000 bottles of lubricant, allegedly linked to coerced sex events. His associate, Brandon Paul, was arrested at Antigua, though he remained in the U.S. We all remember this. This is nothing new.
All right, so they raided Diddy's house for a whole bunch of USBs and hard drives and a whole bunch of baby oil. You know what I'm saying? But nobody knew why. Of course, the video of him beating on Cassie was released before that, but they released the video of him beating on Cassie and then they raiding his house. It's like a whole house raid over a domestic violence situation. Those two don't add up. Those don't connect. So what are they raiding his house for? And they getting videotapes and baby oil. What they raiding him for?
May of 2024, guess what footage is released? Cassie Ventura's footage. How long have you been having it, CNN? Since 2016. You haven't released it till now? No.
Okay, so I was wrong. They raided Diddy's house right after he got the settlement from Diageo. They raided his house. Then they released the Cassie footage. So it wasn't even no... I don't even see the probable cause to raid him before this footage right here came out, because this is the main thing that put Diddy under the microscope, that put him under the flame. Like, so what was the reason they was raiding him? What was the accusations before this?
Who made the phone call to say release it now? Who was kind of like, we're done with this guy. You're not back. You're threatened to say this. Release the footage, right? So they released the footage.
And he said they held it for like over 10 years. So like, what's really going on? Because the only thing the world knows about is Diddy beating on Cassie in this situation and Diddy suing Diageo. But the footage of him beating on Cassie came after his houses were raided. So the only thing that happened before his houses were raided was him suing Diageo, suing the liquor company. So what is the reason that all of this is happening?
He comes out, issues an apology, while his lawyers accuse the government of leaking the tape. It was later admitted as evidence in his trial. Again, January deal, March is raiding his house, Miami and LA. May, here's a video being dropped from CNN, even though they've been sitting on it for 8 years. Airplay.
All right, so they sat on it for 8 years, and then they said that tape was being used as evidence in his trial. But we now know that his trial charges are for racketeering, RICO, conspiracy, like some mob shit. So what does him physically abusing Cassie have to do with some mob shit? Like, that's weird. That's different.
To certain artists. You know who was the leading guy for Columbia at the time? A guy named Clive Davis in 1973, a rising executive and then president of Columbia Records, fired by CBS in 1973. The official reason cited the misuse of company funds. He was accused of charging personal expense, including lavish bar mitzvah costs for his son, to the company. I mean, obviously that's not good, but if you look at the charts, you hear them using heroin and other drugs to bribe DJs. Even his former EA testified and gave statements that Clive Davis authorized payola practices, further damaging his reputation. So what does Clive Davis do? Starts his own company called Arista Records in 1974. Now, while he's going through, the CBS sues him to recover some of the funds. Davis was not indicted or charged with any crime, including the broader allegations on payola or drug-related misconduct. So the relationship between Clive Davis and Diddy is interesting because when Diddy's 23 years old, he's making a name for himself. Clive gave him $15 million to start Bad Boy Records. And then later on, they did even a bigger deal where Clive gave him $50 million advance on future earnings. This is 5 years later in 1998. $6 million upfront payment, $700,000 annual salary, and a state-of-the-art recording studio. We're talking about $2 million.
So they saying Clive Davis, which is a big name in the music industry, he gave Diddy his start. He invested in Diddy. He gave Diddy $15 million one time, $15 million another time, plus some more money. And Clive himself was under investigation for malpractice. He was doing illegal things. And then, you know, Clive is like a Berry Gordy or a Jimmy Iovine type of guy, like one of the high executives in the music industry. So they're saying that he's partially responsible for creating the Diddy, making the Diddy, and they're saying that everything Diddy did, he learned from bosses like Clive Davis, which is interesting.
A recording studio. This is when he went after Faith Evans. He got Biggie in the early 90s. This is when it started. But there's a relationship with Clive. And it's interesting because Clive later on, they say something may have happened here because Shook said Clive taught him the bad habits. And later on, Clive comes out and says the following. Yes, record mogul Clive Davis has identified as being bisexual. Here's what I could tell you. If it goes with the pattern that we've seen.
All right. So they said Clive came out right before, you know, his dying days, 80s, 90s, and said he was bisexual, meaning that Clive probably always knew he was bisexual, and when he met Diddy and put Diddy on, he probably introduced Diddy to some bisexual activities. All this stuff is wild. The main concern of this video is asking the question of, was Diddy just an evil person and he's finally getting his karma and all his evil is finally catching up to him? Or is this entire situation a setup because Diddy decided to go against a giant, a conglomerate, an alcohol franchise that makes so much money that they have the power to pull strings to make people do what they want to do, like the mob, like the mafia? So is it the fact that Diddy just pissed off the mob by suing the alcohol company that owns all these different alcohols? Or is it the fact that Diddy has just been such an evil person over his lifetime and his career that it's finally catching up to him? That's the whole question, the whole purpose of this video. It's interesting.
With Jelaine, with Epstein, with Diddy. Either Diddy's gonna commit suicide, either he's going to be hiding somewhere that we won't hear about for many, many years, or he's gonna be O.J. Simpson, and he'll be released and said, I told you I was as innocent. I told you nothing happened. I told you I was this. Or he's gonna go to jail and spend the rest of his life in jail. Not likely, because he has access to a lot of information on a lot of people that make a lot of money for people in Hollywood.
That's what's really interesting. Diddy knows a lot. He got a lot of influence. He had a lot of money. He still got a little bit of money, but he had a lot of money. But will he be found guilty in the end, or will he find a way to walk? The other crazy thing to me is when it comes to Diddy, he's been a very shrewd, a very hardcore businessman for many years. We've all seen it in the TV shows, the movies he's played in. Any footage of Diddy, we've seen that he's a ruthless, hardcore businessman, and he trying to do whatever it takes to get to the top. And it's admirable, but at the same time, it's a little bit savage. But the thing about Diddy being brought up on all these allegations in this case, the thing to me that rings a bell is that last campaign he went on. Because right before he caught this case and the Cassie stuff came out and all this, he dropped the Love album. And for like a year straight, Diddy was trying to promote himself and change his name to Love and promote himself as Love, and don't call me Diddy, call me Love. And he was trying to give out all this love energy, and I'm about caring about everybody else, and my new name is Love, and I just want everybody to come together and love each other and stuff like that. And this is like, what, 25 years into his career, and all of a sudden he flipping the script to try to pick up a more positive, loving image right before all of this goes down. To me, I hate to say it, I don't want to prosecute anybody, but when you, after all these years of being such a strict, hard, rough person, all of a sudden you want to take on this empathetic love image, to me that kind of sounds like a admission of guilt, or I kind of know that something might be coming my way, so I want to kind of influence my public image to be more positive before something bad comes my way. And if it wasn't for that, I would think that this whole thing is just people trying to take Diddy's money and break him and just trying to ruin his name and his reputation. But I do remember him going on this whole campaign of, I'm spreading love now. I'm Mr. Love. Call me Love. And then right after that, these indictments happen. These lawsuits and stuff happen. So that's interesting to me. Do y'all think there's a correlation to why he got on this positive note and what he's going through now? Do y'all think that he just got in tune with God, and then the lawsuit against the alcohol company just made this happen? Do y'all think this is all because of the alcohol company situation? Or do y'all think Diddy was just doing evil shit his whole career and he finally getting his karma? Y'all let me know in the comments. I just felt like this was some very interesting content that we needed to go over. And if you're in the music game, man, any game you in, but especially in the celebrity entertainment music game, man, you gotta watch how you treat people. You really gotta pay attention to the image that you're portraying to people, because that's gonna be one of the main things that determines your future. Remember that how you treat people is not only crucial to how they feel about you, it's crucial to how your future is gonna play out in the long run. Y'all, please don't forget that. Once again, Gringo Gang, it's your boy Emerald Amigo coming to you with another video. I hope y'all, saw the value in this one and enjoyed this one. Like, comment, and subscribe immediately right now. Subscribe. I need to get these subscribers up. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers right now. Y'all help a brother out, man. And until the next video, you already know what's going on. I'ma holla at you. Yes, sir, ski. Damn, Diddy. I don't know what to say, man. But I wish you the best of luck. We out this motherfucker. Yes, sir.